Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, August 10. We are meeting in this COVID world via Zoom and have been authorized now by New York State to do so until mid-September. Have I got that right, Eric?
Yep. The beginning of September.
As has been the case since we began these Zoom meetings, you can always get the Zoom link for our meetings at our website, pleasantville-ny.gov.
Thank you.
While you're there, please sign up in the left-hand agenda to subscribe to news. That is a really helpful way not only to get the Zoom links, but also to find out what's going on in the village. More on that in a moment. So our next regular meeting is 2 weeks from today, which is on Monday, August 24. Work session at 7 p.m. And a regular session to follow. As always, you can pick up the video from these meetings at pctv76.org, and within a short period of time, that will be up there, and we can also provide full transcript within a week or two, which is also required by the Open Meetings Law. So I will say on that subject, there's been some discussion about the advantages of the Zoom meeting amid the many disadvantages. There's been some thought that when we are back to meeting in person and folks can gather in the meeting room, that it might make some sense to continue to provide a Zoom option or something of the kind, because some folks have felt it was an opportunity for them to weigh in, be involved, pay attention, which they could do from their home, whereas they might not have come on down to Village Hall. So more on that as it evolves. A couple of announcements to make. The first and looming one obviously is the Northeast, Westchester County, and the Village of Pleasantville have been through an extremely tough last week with this big tropical storm that wrought havoc throughout our region. At one point in time, we had, give or take, about a quarter of the village out of power and quite a few streets closed. Some of them quite dramatically by very, very big trees that had come down. Over the next some days, things started to recover. I want to send a shout out to Jeff Econom and his folks at Public Works, to Matt Trainer and his folks in the Parks Department. Those guys were rock stars during all of this. Literally the very day of the microburst that took down all these trees, we had folks from DPW and Parks headed through the residential streets picking up debris and helping homeowners clear their property. Jeff, as he always is in these moments, follows up with Con Ed through his many contacts and pushes for restoration here in the Village of Pleasantville. Eric Noreen and I have been participants in an endless array of municipal calls on various subjects with the county, with Con Ed, trying to understand what's going on, trying to advocate for the Village of Pleasantville. And I think within the confines of what was possible, pretty good results were had. That doesn't make it any easier for folks who are out of power for a long period of time. And as happens every time we have one of these incidents, there will be an ongoing discussion about Con Ed and their preparedness for all of this, and the degree to which the interests of a shareholder-owned profit-making company may collide with the interests of the public, who would like to have more resources available in a circumstance like this when a lot of people are out. As of today, we're down to a small number of outages, below 20?
Yeah, 13 last I looked. Most of those are probably outside the village bound, though.
Right. So, but what continues and is now the biggest source of frustration are folks who are still out of internet or telephone service from Verizon Fios or from Altice, the Optimum service. Quite a bit of discussion about that in the recent municipal calls, and at the risk of being uncharitable to the both of them, it would appear to me that neither company has had a particularly effective recovery response. The typical response, indeed, the message they suggested we send out to all of you, is that they're waiting for the all clear from Con Ed. In many cases, the outages reflect the lack of commercial power. That no doubt is true in some circumstances. It certainly is not true in some circumstances in the village of Pleasantville. I know for a fact there are streets that lost FiOS, for example, and never lost power. So we're pushing for that, and hopefully we see progress in the next couple of days. I know how extraordinarily frustrating it is, but I also know how remarkable it was that so many neighborhoods came together and helped one another. It was quite an impressive Pleasantville moment to see people helping one another with their various needs, and to see people who had some special needs and making sure they got attended to. So two things to point out. One is Con Edison has issued a reimbursement system for people who lost food that spoiled if they were out of power for more than 48 hours. It is a more generous plan than their standard. So we sent that out as a village email, but you can also find it on the Con Ed website. So if you were out for more than 48 hours and suffered a loss of food that spoiled and was unusable, there's a chance to get some reimbursement for that. Take a look either at the email we sent you or the Con Ed site. And then the other point I wanted to make, and I think most people have done this, but every time we have a power outage, big or small, it comes up. If folks have a particular special need that puts them in peril when they're out of power, life-sustaining medical equipment or medical monitoring equipment, or some sort of disability that requires electric-powered assistance, it's really critically important that you connect your Con Edison account to the registry of folks with special needs that Con Ed maintains. So again, we sent that out in our email, but you can also find that information on the Con Ed website. If you are in that circumstance with a particularly important need to sustain electric power to your house, please make sure you're signed up and that Con Ed knows that your particular house is particularly important to try to restore. So again, as we have said 1,000 times, here's the moment when being on the village email list is an enormous benefit. We've been sending out emails. Thank you, Eric Morrissey, for crafting these long emails and putting together a raft of information in a comprehensible way. If you're not on the village email list, you're not getting them. It's easy to do. Go to pleasantville-ny.gov. Left-hand column, you can click into subscribe to news. While you're there, you can also sign up for our Code Red emergency service, and then we will have a means of reaching you not only by email, but potentially by telephone, by cell phone, by alternate email, by alternate phone number. You have a bunch of options there. So please sign up for that. Couple of other points to make. The farm market continues to operate and has been doing a really impressive job of operating in this social distancing world. But one of the things they have undertaken is to start an online ordering system. You can, starting at 7 p.m. on Tuesday and through Thursday, you can place an order and pay for it online at quite a number of the farm market vendors. Then when you come to the farm market, your order will be all ready for you, packaged up, already paid for. All you have to do is pick it up and you're off to the races. That is a big convenience now in the busy summer months, but that is likely to be an increasingly important piece of what the farm market looks like in the winter. As most of you know, the farm market has moved into the middle school cafeteria in the winter. That obviously is not going to be possible this year with the COVID restrictions and the many constraints the school confronts. So sign yourself up for that. You can go to the Pleasantville Farmers Market website and read all about it. It's an easy matter to sign up for the online purchases, and not only useful to do right now, but a great system to get up and running as the winter market, which would likely begin sometime in December, gets going. Our COVID status after a bit of a spike has settled down again. We're in the mid-130s total number of cases in the village of Pleasantville since the recording began. We're now, as of today, down to only one active case. A week or so, we were at 8 active cases, which had been a spike. Obviously, when we get a new active case, 2 weeks or so later, that case drops into the inactive category. So seeing that number go down is very reassuring, but it is important to realize that just a week ago, we saw it go up. And that makes obvious what everyone should know, and if they don't know, they're pretending to ignore the truth. And that is that COVID is still out there. It's easy to transmit, and it is critically important that we all wear masks and follow the rules. It's easy to see when you go out that a large percentage of people are doing that. It's also easy to see that not everybody is. That is not only a violation of the law, but it's a selfish behavior that harms everybody's interest. It is not asking too much to wear a mask in a public place when you are within 6 feet of anyone, or even at risk of being within 6 feet of anyone. So please wear a mask. Wearing a mask over your mouth and not over your nose is insufficient. It belongs over the mouth and the nose. Every single scientific study makes crystal clear that this is massively beneficial in reducing the spread of COVID. That protects us, that protects the people you go home to, that protects your kids, that protects your elderly relatives, that protects everybody. Wear a mask, it's that simple. Please do that. With the recent storm we just had, it's a reminder that we're headed into a turbulent fall season when hurricanes and tropical storms are more likely. Get yourself to alert.ny.gov and to ready.gov. Those are, in that order, the state and then the federal emergency preparedness websites. They offer lots of good information about the kinds of things you might want to think about. So alert.ny.gov and ready.gov are two great things to think about. The affordable housing lottery for 7 townhouses in the Toll Brothers project on Washington Avenue is accepting applications. The full details are on our website at pleasantville-ny.gov. The deadline for applications for folks who are income eligible, you can get the information on the website. The deadline for the applications is Friday, August 14th. So 7 townhouses in the Toll Brothers enclave development on Washington Avenue. Check out the information if you think you might qualify. For income eligible people, apply by Friday, August 14th. And then lastly, and importantly, the census. We've talked about that before. Pleasantville has been doing pretty well. We're now number 11 in the county out of 45 in terms of response rate. We're ever so close to cracking the top 10, which feels to me like where we belong. But we're at 70 some odd percent. We're actually an udge above the total response rate from 2010. But the painful fact is that every single person that's not counted in Westchester County costs all of us something like $2,500 a year for the next 10 years per person who is not counted in federal benefits that are apportioned to states and counties by population. So the goal is 100% count. Obviously, that's impossible to get to, but the idea that we can't get above the lower 70s feels like it's not good enough. So if you haven't filled out the census, please go to 2020census.gov. It's incredibly easy to do it. If you know someone who hasn't done it, go to 2020census.gov. And if you even have the idea that you might know some people that might not be thinking about it, please tell them to go to 2020census.gov and fill it out. Anybody else have announcements to make, comments to make? All right. Nicole wrote also on our Facebook page. Were you referring to which piece were you referring to?
Oh, so I was referring to the fact that all of the village updates that we send out are also posted on our Facebook page.
Great.
And there's a link to a Facebook page on the upper right-hand corner of the website if you want to find it, and then please follow it or
okay. Thank you for that. I missed that chat note a little earlier. We're about to go to our brief set of resolutions. I want to let you know that in our work session today, we had a presentation by Andy Reinman and his colleagues at the CAC, the Conservation Advisory Committee, regarding their desire for us to enact some restrictions on gas-fired leaf blowers. So we're going to put that PDF up on the website at pleasantville-ny.gov, and a thorough and detailed presentation of the position the CAC has taken and their request to us to enact some legislation, which has been a subject of discussion and in many cases legislation elsewhere in the county. That will obviously be a matter that's of interest to lots of people, and it stirs passions on both sides. But if it's a matter of interest or concern to you, you can take a look on our website where we'll tomorrow post that PDF of the CAC presentation. And we agreed 2 weeks from today, our next meeting, to hatch a schedule for a means by which we would engage the community more broadly. Obviously, that'll have to wait for the fall. Certainly not going to be doing that here in August, but just want to give you a heads up that that's an issue that has been presented and is on the radar screen. And then the last thing, Paul Alvarez is here among us, as he always is. He is our trustee in waiting. He was running unopposed for the election that would have taken place in March. Steve Lord is our trustee in handcuffs. He would have been sent off in March with
in blissful retirement.
In blissful retirement. And because there has been no election because of COVID, we remain locked in stasis. The election is scheduled by New York State guidance for September 15. Assuming that all happens, we'd have an organization meeting in early October, and new folks sworn in, old folks sent away. We thought of giving Steve one of the old moth-eaten chairs
Nice.
from the waiting room,
Thanks, guys.
from the meeting room, which in the course of his years on the board have deteriorated with the bits and flecks of the faux leather coming home on our clothes. Amazingly, we now have new chairs there, but none of us have sat in them.
No one can see them. Awesome.
At any rate, probably the joke will be too old to fulfill it.
Probably. I don't really want one of those chairs. So.
Are there actually new chairs? I feel like you're pulling my leg.
All right. With that, let's go to our resolutions. Nicole, number 148. I will share my screen for the benefit of those watching at home. Okay.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the minutes of the meetings held on July 27th, 2020 and July 31st, 2020.
Is there a second?
Second.
Two sets of minutes, and as I mentioned, the painfully accurate Zoom transcript with every if, and the meeting of July 31 was a brief special meeting simply to authorize the bidding for some HVAC equipment that is needed on an urgent basis. Any comments or corrections to the minutes? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Steve, 149.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the abstract for payment of claims dated August 10th, 2020 for fiscal year end 2021, covering check numbers 97945 to 98080 from the General Fund, $95,498.62, from the Water Fund, $138,149.56, from the Refuse Fund, $7,462.80, for a total of $241,110.98.
Is there a second?
Second.
Attached, as always, is a PDF detail of the payment of claims and the credit card fees. As I have had in the past, I remind you that all of this information is available on the web as soon as we post the agenda for a meeting, including the backup material if you are so inclined. You can get to that link from our website, pleasantville-ny.gov, and click into the meetings, and it will take you into a window that looks just like this. So, comments or questions on the check register? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. 150, if Novus will agree to go to it.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes petty cash in the amount of $100 for the purpose of the Finance Department to make changes with regards tax, water, and miscellaneous payments to the village.
Is there a second?
Second.
Pretty straightforward. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Back to Nicole, 151.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby acknowledges the following village petty cash accounts and confirms the limit on any reimbursement for out-of-pocket expenses to village employees from said funds at $20. Justice Department change and reimburse $200. Finance Department reimburse expenses only $150. Finance Department change for payments only $100. Recreation Department change and reimburse $100. Village Clerk refuse change for payments only $100. And Clinton Street Center change and reimburse $50.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this is just the normal course of business when folks have incurred something that they should be reimbursed for, or members of the public need to pay for something and change is required. Is that
Right.
Yes,
all right?
what happened was we recently went through our audit, and it was just one area that over the years, the petty cash accounts had changed to different amounts during the year. So we were able to show all the letters through the years, but it was recommended to just have a clean starting point.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
Aye.
152. Come on, back to life.
You got it?
There we go.
Resolved that the Board of, Resolved that the Village Board hereby authorizes the village administrator to sign the fee-exempt application for the Clinton Street Center's renewal of a food service establishment permit with the Westchester County Department of Health for the period October 1, 2020 to September 31, 2021.
Is there a
And the
second?
application is attached.
Is there a second? Pretty straightforward. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. David, 153.
Resolve the Board of Trustees hereby approves the following budget amendments for fiscal year ending 2021 as listed below. $6,000 for A9950-901 transfer to capital from Manuel Road Improvements Village Funds, and $6,000, the same $6,000 from H050-5031 interfund transfer from general fund, again, Manville Road Improvements.
Comments, questions?
You need a second. I second.
Oh, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. That was our last of our regular agenda items. Are there any new business or comments from the public?
I have
I
one
just
question
wanted-
for you, Peter.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, Tom?
Yeah,
This is Tom Rooney. Yeah, I need you to state your name and address, even though we know it.
Tom Rooney, 26 Hillview Drive in Pleasantville. I was just wondering, is the village on any time schedule to make the necessary road repairs throughout the village, especially Washington Avenue, from the clock up to where, I guess up to about Virginia?
Okay.
So I can take that. I see Jeff Econom's on the line. I don't know if he wants to unmute to field this one, but that is on the list to be repaved this year, Washington Avenue.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah. But Jeff and his team are finalizing the paving schedule, but Washington Avenue is on.
What about the intersection of Pleasantville Road and Manville Road by the parking lot of Pleasantville Ford?
That would be a state road, right?
That's right.
It's not ours to do,
Uh,
painfully.
Yeah. They just replaced the islands there.
Yes.
I thought they were fixing the road.
Well, that's the county side, right?
Yeah,
The county was doing that.
different people.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, all right. Any further comment, questions from anybody?
I just wanted to give a shout out to our colleagues on the school board, because I know they're doing a lot of heavy lifting these days, trying to handle a very difficult situation with reopening the school. So I just wanted to say to Shane and everybody else on the school board that I appreciate all the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Likewise.
Unfortunately, we're not going to make everybody happy, but we're doing the best we can.
I don't think that you can.
I'm afraid we probably all fall in that category, but It's obviously a big challenge and one that none of us imagined we would ever be dealing with. So before we sign off from our regular meeting, I also want to mention that we had a work session discussion, and that discussion will be ongoing regarding our capacity to run the after-school program Panther Club. Obviously cannot be run in anywhere near the same manner that has been run in the past. It is not crystal clear what our options are, whether it's feasible or not, but we're trying to think divergently about how we might be able to help parents with after-school care. Not certain what the answer is, but are talking intensively to the school district and to Matt Trainer in the Parks and Rec Department, who is the keeper of this project, trying to figure out what we might do. And David Finjamori has suggested possibly a survey that might help us gauge who might want to be involved. The core problem is whether it's realistic, what the parameters might be about maintaining the different groups and maintaining separation among them, whether we have staff to do it, and whether it's economically feasible to make it happen. So aside from that, everything is crystal clear. So, all right. With that, we are going to end our regular meeting, return to work session. We have a couple of matters to discuss in work session, which one of which we didn't get to in our work session prior to the meeting, and that is a further discussion of our police procedures and policies review, which is required by the state, and which we have a draft plan in place for, and then a discussion about the Manville Corridor Improvement Project construction management funding. As we have reported multiple times, I at least am not of the view that we're in a position to be committing any seven-figure project of any kind until we understand more about the world and what the economic impacts will be for residents and for the village. But we're also confronted with some wacky and problematic deadlines in order to maintain the viability of this $1.5 million grant that we have. And so it is still necessary that we make some steps in order to understand how to maintain that grant. So more on that later. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I just wanted to give one quick shout out before we go.
Thank you, Paul.
I wanted to give a shout out to Marlene Canopy for all the great work that she's been doing with the census. She's been driving around, dropping off signs at people's houses and giving us an update of every couple of days. It's been really, really good work. So I really want to give her that shout out, because I think she's been doing some great work for everyone. And I think that's really important. So I just wanted to put it out there.
Thanks for bringing that up. I agree.
Yes, thank you, Paul. I'm remiss in not saying that, and you're absolutely right. And Paul, you want to comment about the PSA videos?
Yes. I'll give a shout out to PCTV, to Shane. We shot PSA both in Spanish and in English that we have ready, and we'll be posting very soon. We'll be sending the links to the Village Facebook, and I'll also be actually putting it in many different groups. So I think it'll be good coming from Pleasantville that we're encouraging not just our village to really step it up, but really putting it all out to all the rest of the county. So I think hopefully this can help and get us over, hopefully, to a higher number.
Great.
Right.
Thank you for that, Paul.
Welcome.
Looking forward to swearing you in. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Thank you all for watching. We will be back in 2 weeks on Monday, August 24.